Hello everyone, and here is your full moon message. So we have on May 26th, Wednesday 2021, we have the super full moon in Sagittarius, also known as the flower moon. The high peak will be at 4:13 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It is 5 degrees 25 minutes. So if you do your meditation, you can do a meditation for 25 minutes starting at the high peak of the moon at 4:13 a.m. The meditation should be different, more for a reflecting, and I'll get into it more as I tell you what I've written down for this eclipse full moon. Okay, so what you need to know, what to know and to consider for this eclipse full moon. It's in Sagittarius, the fire sign. So the outcome should be an optimistic one, okay? To be optimistic, to think that things will get better for you, things will be better, and then you will lose the word will and things are better. Things are better right now, right? It's like an affirmation type of thing where you will just change the way that you're saying things. But this is like a pen and paper type of moon, right? Reflecting. So Sagittarius is Gemini's opposite sign, and we're in the birthday season of Geminis. So happy birthday to all the Geminis out there. Sidebar, Gemini season starts May 20th to June 20th this calendar. So on a super full moon, the moon will look bigger to us here on Earth. Now, some other times to consider. The eclipse will start at 1:47 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 4:47 Eastern Standard Time. So most of us will be asleep, but right now is a good time if you're going to bed to reflect. You can journal, meditate, chant, and make peace with yourself or whatever the situation that you're in right now before you go to sleep. As I'm uploading this video later on today, when you guys see this in the morning, and I'll be texting it to some of you guys, you can do the same thing. Reflect, journal, meditate, chant, make peace with yourself, the situation you're in, right? Before you get up and go to work and do whatever you have to do. You're working at home or, outside the home, right? Now, this video will be up on Facebook and also the YouTube channel, and I will be copying and pasting my notes from this as well, okay? So eclipse represent change. Now, it can also represent a transformation in your life, a turning point in your life, a sudden change on your path, plans that you've made, a slight change in your path. It's about having a revelation in your life, right? And it can also be about more unconscious emotions brought to reality. And that happened also in the last full moon in April too, because that was in Scorpio. So a lot of unconscious thoughts and feelings. With this eclipse, you can make room, like I said, to have more optimistic thoughts in your life, right? And make that a thought pattern that's more positive. And that's going to bring you into a better life, right? Mentally and emotionally, if you're willing to do that work. Now, what can you let go of? You can let go of thought patterns, beliefs that you have that you need to let go of, and that will help you to move forward into this new path, this new chapter in your life. Now, these old thought patterns, they might served you, a few months ago, even a few years ago. You probably say, okay, I'm experiencing something, so I'm going to think this way. But now you can let go of those unconscious thought, because you really have to just sit back and meditate, think about it. Now, you want to let go of these old thought patterns and beliefs because they may not benefit the way your life is shifting right now for your present and for your future. Now, here's some other things to consider. What to ask yourself astrologically, right? So where is Sagittarius in your birth chart? Look at your birth chart. There's different websites you can look that up. Where is Sagittarius in your birth chart? All right, now what house is Sagittarius in, and are there any planets there? If there's no planets, then you don't have any planetary work to do in this life right now. But if there is just the house, then what does that house mean? Right? So if there's no planets, that means that you've already learned from that planet in that house already. You can also consider where Sagittarius is right now, Wednesday, May 26, 2021. So Sagittarius, I'm looking at the Pacific. I put for Las Vegas, Nevada, like specific time, right? So Sagittarius is in the 7th house, and Sagittarius is in the South Node. The South Node is in the 8th house. Now, look up what the South Node means, because I reviewed that a lot in my video, but I will put it on the comments on Facebook, okay? So the 7th house represents relationships, marriage, how you pair up with someone in love or in friendship. The 8th house represents birth, death, sex, mystery sector of the chart is the 8th house. It rules other people's money, how you make money, how you make money in your life, property, investments, and inheritance. Now, we want to be using astrology on this special day and to reflect on our life and just to draw meaning and see how it adds up with what we're experiencing right now. Now, another thing to consider is an eclipse and the sun. We know the sun represents a self, right? So let's consider this. The earth is in between the sun and the moon during an eclipse. Now, the earth's shadow is on the moon and not the sun's shadow. So the full moon will fade away in this eclipse, and the earth's shadow will cover it. So there's going to be that eclipse effect. Now, this isn't the natural cycle or the natural flow, right? So what we want to do is take in consideration the spiritual meaning of these planets. The sun is the self, and we want to think about the absence of the sunlight and the absence of self. What would we be without ourselves? What would you be without yourself? Nothing. So the self-care moment to reflect is very important. Even if you're not spiritual or a person is spiritual, they take that moment to reflect because it's important. You might reflect on your day. You might reflect on, what your thought pattern is, and is it working for you right now, and how can you make these changes to make your life better, right? So right now we're living on Earth, right? So Earth represents where we are right now, and I'll get into that. So we're living on the Earth, and the representation of the moon being our emotions, right? And that's what the moon represents, our emotions. And the moon was the old messenger, but they gave that task to Mercury. So our emotions have a message for us, even if we're unconscious of it. So this is really important to just kind of sit back and think about it. So what is the core meaning? What is the core message, right, of our strongest emotion right now? So I'm saying a lot, so make sure you pause, rewind, all that good stuff. Now, the earth spiritually means nurturing, creativity, longevity, femininity, feminine, great mother, fertility, and also infinity, right? Or infinite. So which one of those words resonate with you? Could it be you're looking for something longevity that will be good for you? Well, we have to nurture ourselves, and we have to look at how we can get that creatively, right? In a creative way. So consider, the meaning of the earth, the sun, and the moon, and the combination of what your reality is right now. So what does your life need right now? Where in your life do you need nurturing? How can this nurturing open up channels of creativity for you and bring about longevity and so on in your life? Now remember, the sunlight won't be shining on the moon. So the earth's shadow, okay, let me get this going right here. All right, so now the earth's shadow, I lost my place and I want to make sure. The earth's shadow comes in between the sun and the moon during the eclipse. During the eclipse, there is no need to try to manifest anything on this full moon, or charge your crystals, pick herbs, or any other kind of spiritual work than silent reflection. So spiritually, this isn't the time to bond with the moon, harness the moon, or any kind of energy work and so on. okay, whenever there's an eclipse. It's considered a chaotic energy, but I don't like to use that term because it's not really, people say chaotic, but it's a reflecting energy, right? It's out of the normal cycle, and you'll notice, maybe a month ago or a few weeks ago, something might be off, right? So we can see that in our own personal lives, maybe in other lives, the energy is off. So it's a real time to really reflect and look at what's going on. Okay. The moon isn't in its most normal cycle position, so this is a great time for us to release unconscious, expired emotions, thoughts, feelings, and limiting beliefs. So we want to have some kind of self-reflection, understand what it is that we're going through, and let it go if it's something that's not working right now, right? Certain things worked at a certain time, and then when it's time to change, we learn more, we do better, and so on, hopefully. Okay, so we all have our normal lives. So this is like an ancient practice that different cultures have done, right? So one of them is during the eclipse, people wouldn't go outside, and you think, oh, this is really superstitious. But it's more of a spiritual practice where, if they didn't have to go outside, they would stay inside. They would reflect everything that I was saying before. They would just reflect on their lives, reflect on what's going on, and try to make a more positive change and try to be as quiet as they can, right? So, I mean, normally if you have kids and all that stuff, you do all of that, but you could be meditating throughout the day while you're in the home, whatever your life is, you figure it out, you rock that. But you would just make time to stay inside as much as you can. We know in a normal full moon, people are more emotional and all of this stuff, right? On these high moon days, even in new moons too, full moons and all of that. So however you decide to celebrate it, have a happy full moon. I hope that this information was helpful to you guys. Just realize that there's a high peak of the full moon, yes, but then a start of the eclipse. So check out the write-up for this. I'll put it in the body of the video here. And thank you guys so much for watching. Click like so that it will generate so others will see this video. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.